Check it out, A1 Math, and today we're looking at writing a linear equation given 2 points. So what I want to do first is find the slope using my 2 points, and then plug it into the y equals mx plus b format to find the y-intercept, which is b, and then write our equation. So let's take a look here. Here's the formula I want to use for finding the slope with 2 points. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, once I do that, I'm gonna plug in those values there. So to help me, I'm gonna go ahead and label this. This is X and this is Y. This is X and this is Y. This is my first point, and this is my second point. And I'm gonna plug those in. So Y2, which is 5, minus -5 divided by 1 minus 5, x2 minus x1. Now I'm gonna go ahead and solve for that. So here I get I add the opposite here. So this is come plus and plus here. 5 plus 5 is 10. And here, 1 minus a 5 is going to get me a -4. And then that's going to simplify. 2 goes into 10 5 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. Now I'm just going to put my negative right there. So my slope is -5/2. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and plug it in to this formula here, which is y equals mx plus b. Okay. And I'm going to plug in the y. Now, right here, you could pick either point you want. I decided to go with 1 comma 5 because it has that 1 in there, real easy to work with. So I'm going to plug that in. No negatives as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug that in. I've got 5 for the y. That's equal to my slope, -5/2, times my x, which is 1, plus b. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply my -5 times 2, -5/2 times 1. That's going to leave me with 5 is equal to -5/2 plus b. Now I want to isolate the variable by adding 5/2. And this will cancel out here, and I'll leave my b here. And my b is going to be 5 plus 5/2. You could work that out to the side or type it in your graphing calculator, and you would get 15/2. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and write that back into my y equals mx plus b. That's going to leave me with y is equal to my slope, -5/2, x plus my b, which is 15/2. And then that'll be my answer. All right. Now, take a look at number 2 here and see if you can solve for this and write it in slope-intercept form. Okay, let's take a look. First thing I want to do, start off writing x1, y1, x2, sorry, yeah, x2, y2, and write my formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. It's a good habit to get. That way you can A, remember the formula, and B, make sure you place everything in the right spot. So now I'm going to plug in the values here. I have -1 minus 3 over 5 minus 3. All right, got two negatives. They'll stay negative here, and that's going to be a -4. And 5 minus 3 is going to get us 2. and that's going to simplify down to -2. So our slope is -2. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug that into y equal mx plus b. And I decided to go with the 2 3s here. Oops, sorry about that. 2 3s. So I've got 3 is equal to my slope, -2, times my x, which is 3, plus b. And then I'll go ahead and multiply here, and I have 3 is equal to -6 plus b. And then I add 6 on both sides. Oops. That's going to give me 9. It's equal to b. So my y-intercept is b. So now all I have to do is write my equation, which is y is equal to my m, -2, x plus 9. That's my final answer. Now take a look at number 3 here and see if you can solve for this one. All right, let's take a look. So I'm gonna start off, go ahead and write out my x1, y1, x2, y2. Write out my formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, plug in my values here, -1 minus -3. All right, divided by 0 minus -4. A lot of negatives here. And when we get 2 negatives here, it turns to positive. So this is 1 plus 3, which would be +2. And here this would be 0 plus 4, which would be +4. And that 2 over 4 reduces down to 1/2. So my slope is 1/2. Now all I gotta do is plug it in. Y equal mx plus b. And I decided to use this point. It's always good to pick the point that's easiest to work with. And since this has a 0, that's going to make it extremely easy. So I'm plugging these values here. All right, so y is going to be -1. Slope is 1/2. And x is 0 plus b. And when I multiply this by 0, that's going to get me 0. So my -1 is going to be equal to b. Simple enough. Now I'm going to go ahead and write out my equation. Y is equal to my slope, 1/2, x plus plus a -1. Just going to make that just -1. And that's my equation. All right. So those are a few examples on how to write a linear equation using 2 points. I want to thank you for checking out A1 Math and have a nice day.